Interstate 275, the Michigan version, because it's also in other states too. Now this 275 runs along the western portion of Metro Detroit and travels from I-75 near Monroe to I-96 and M5 and I-696 in Farmington Hills. So first we're going to be talking about Northbound I-275. Now as I stated earlier, I-275 starts north of Monroe, where I-275 is signed north for Flint for its entirety, and looking at this from I-75 north signed for Detroit. But when we look at the southbound I-75 exit for I-275, we see it doesn't get a control city at all. Strange. Here's where we got our first mile marker. Livonia is the third on 31 miles, Flint is on the second at 88, and Lansing is at 96 because it will run with I-96 later. Now I've made this road joke for a very long time, but this road is feeling ready for you to drive on it. Ain't I right? Now currently I-75 is undergoing construction due to be completed in 2024. Here's a view of Detroit Metro Airport from northbound I-75. Pretty nice. After the Metro Airport, we come across Interstate 94, which is signed eastbound for Detroit and westbound for Chicago. Pretty simple. However, one more thing is shown on each of the signs at the exit itself. I-94 eastbound is signed for Detroit and the Metro Airport, and I-94 west is signed for Chicago, along with Ann Arbor. Here's where we get our second mile marker with the same cities as before, with Livonia at 16 miles, Flint at 73 miles, and Lansing at 81 miles. A few exits later, we come across I-96 for Detroit and M14, which is my closest freeway, to Ann Arbor. Now what happens here is I-96 for westbound joins up with I-275 for the rest of the journey. Here's the exit just a little further up. Now when we join with I-96, mile markers start to change. We're now following I-96's mile markers instead of 275's, so the exits will be numbered that way too. And just before I-275 ends, the big interchange happens. I-96 will continue west to Lansing, but you will also have the options to transfer to I-696 heading east to Port Huron, and M5 heading in either the north or east directions. You can see that Flint will be reached by I-96 west, and that Southfield will be reached by I-696. Here's one last look at how the exit will work. I-696 and M5 east will be sharing the two lanes to the right, M5 north will be the middle lane, and I-96 west will be continuing in the left lanes. And this marks the end of I-275. Alright, now next we're going to be talking about southbound I-275. Alright, so we're not going to see where I-275 starts from all the other freeways, so I'm just going to show I-96 eastbound. You see that I-96 will head with I-275 to the south and east for Detroit-Toledo, and I-696 and M5 will be on the left lanes for Port Huron and Grand River Avenue. Alright, so currently the interchange with I-96 and M14 is different because of the construction going on, but here's how it would look like back in the day. I-96 east would branch off to the left for Detroit, I-275 will continue to Toledo, and M14 goes to Ann Arbor. Much later, here's the same I-94 interchange from earlier, and this time we're seeing Chicago and Detroit again, with I-275 pull through for Toledo. Our first southbound mile marker, finally. Monroe is signed on the secondary control city for 20 miles, and Toledo is the primary for 43 miles away. And we have a view of the Detroit Metro Airport heading in the southbound direction. Nice. And here is the end of southbound I-275 at the junction with I-75, its parent, at south for Toledo and north for Detroit. Hey, thanks for watching this first episode of the mini-series called Michigan's Freeways. In case you caught it on the sign here, this was an inspiration from the Interstate Highway series by Control City Freak, my man Todd. I suggest you check him out. This is Xavier, signing off. See you all in the next episode.